Today we have some fun springtime fabric and a great springy project to match. So today we're going to make this Twirly Tulips Table Runner. It's super easy and you've got these big, beautiful tulip blocks. To do that, we're going to use Minky's beautiful Misty Morning collection. You're not going to need this whole bundle to make this project, but we have something else fun up our sleeves using this bundle and with Minky. If you are not familiar with her, she is an incredible designer, not only of fabric, but also of bags and other projects. So if you pick this up, just know you'll have many good things to make with it. So besides the fat quarter bundle, you're going to need 1.5 yards of background. Obviously, keep in mind, you could use leftover charm squares, pull from your stash for this. This is just really a great quick project for spring. You're also going to need the small Missouri Star Drunkard's Path template that looks like this. It's a smaller curve, and that's just about it. So let's go ahead and dive into this so I can show you how to make it. So I've gone ahead and cut my fat quarter bundle into strips. And so I've got a few strips left over here because this is the block that we're trying to make. And so let's take our 5-inch strips. You can actually cut these as small as 4.5 if you wanted, but I like to give myself a little bit of extra room when I'm working, especially with curves. And so I'm just going to lay my template in the corner here and make sure it's lined up on both sides of the fabric. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut out this curve. It's nice and gentle. You can use a regular rotary cutter, and it works great. And so for each petal, you're going to need 4 of these curves. And so I like to just lay this and kind of rotate my fabric back and forth so that I'm not working against myself. We don't want to hurt ourselves. So I just slide this as close as possible to that last cut so I have not a lot of waste. And then I'm going to cut this curve. And then I'm going to change my body and go ahead and cut this straight. So there we go. We have that one ready as well. And like I said, you'll just continue until you have 4 of each color. I'm going to go ahead and press this since it has a little rumple in it. And then one thing I like to go ahead and do, since I'm already over here pressing, is just put a little, you can either finger press or press with your iron and press it in half on the curve side. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that since I'm here. And that's just going to be a little guide when we add our background that will help us later. So now let's go ahead and get our background ready. So for that, we're going to cut some strips. So let me open this up. And we are going to cut some 4.5-inch background strips. So I'm just going to make sure this is nice and straight. And then we will clean up this edge. There we go. And then we'll measure over 4.5. There we go. Fold this back up out of the way. And then I'll show you how to use the other part of the template. So now we've cut the big curve that is the center of our Drunkard's Path, and we're going to want to cut on the 4.5 line of the template to cut the outside of our curve. And so I actually like to stack up a few at a time. Because I'm working with a solid, I can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off this edge here so I have a straight line on this side. And I'm going to line up my ruler on the 4.5 line. And because this strip is 4.5 inches wide, you can see the top and the bottom line up perfectly. And I just want to make sure that the solid line of the template is on the edge of the fabric. And then we can just come in here and cut and cut. And then we get quite a few at a time. You can come back with your scissors to get those little corners if you need to, but I am comfortable doing about 4 layers of fabric at a time when I'm cutting these curves, as long as you're really careful. If you're worried about it, don't cut more than 1 or 2 and you'll do just fine. And so now we can do the same thing. We're going to just turn this and set this here. So I like to just kind of measure over. Since I know my template is going to go all the way to the edge, I just measure over 4.5 inches and go ahead and make a cut. Just make sure it's all nice and straight so that I'm not dealing with any weird angles. There we go, 4.5. I almost cut it at 4. You always have to double check. So then I have this little piece. I know it looks kind of funny, but I can actually use this still to cut out another set of curves. And so then the only waste we have is there in the middle. And these are all used for our outside pieces. So you can see how quickly that comes together. All of our prints are going to be the inside curves. Our background is going to be the outside of those curves. And then we're going to have some sashing or setting squares in between with our background, and those measure 4.5. So let's go ahead, just like we pressed these in half, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, and we're pressing it on the curved side. So I'm just going to fold these in half here, and I'm just going to finger press this time. Just press against my tabletop. There we go. And now that we have those pressed, we can just line those up with the little press lines that we made earlier. And so we're going to actually pin so that those are in line. I like to make sure my pin is down out of the way of where my curve is, but still holding the fabric in place where it needs to be, because I don't like to have to worry about the pin when I'm sewing curves, but I want it to hold the fabric where I need it, if that makes sense. So I make sure it's well out of the way of the presser foot so I don't run the risk of getting it anywhere close to the needle. So now I always have the big piece down, and we're going to begin by lining up this edge. And I know it looks kind of funny if you're not familiar with working with curves, but it sews together beautifully and it's really quite simple. And so we're just going to line up our little edge. The square fits together right in the corner, and we're going to put that under the presser foot, just like so. And I'm going to take a few stitches here. And then I just like to make sure that the fabric is lining up and it is just laying really nicely. And when you put that pin right in the center, it kind of forces it, once you take that first stitch, to lay exactly where you want it from the first stitch to that middle pin. And so we're just going to ease this around and make sure it's staying together. And we've got a 1/4 inch seam, and I've made it to the middle. And so now I like to do the same thing that I did at the beginning, but I'm going to hold the end piece and I'm going to bring that around to the back and just make it line up. And I just kind of hold that as I go. Just take your time here, and the more you do, the quicker this will come together for you. And you can put more pins in place if that will help you. When you get to this little thin end down here, I do recommend using either a pin or a stiletto to help you hold this in place. Because it's so narrow, we only want that 1/4 inch overhang. It can be hard, depending on the size of your presser foot, to make sure that you hold that. So I'm just using the point of a pin over on this little side to make sure that my fabric is going to stay where I want it. And now it's slid, so let me just get that right back. There we go. And then I can just hold this pin over here out of the way, again, making sure I'm not close to the needle until it gets under that presser foot and it's going nice and straight and the fabric staying lined up. So that's a great little tip when you're working with curves. So then this one's ready, and we can go ahead and press it. And we're just going to roll that back. Just make sure it lays down nice. That looks great. So let's go ahead and do this one more time, because this is the trickiest part of this pattern, is just working with these curves. So again, We've got our press line here. We folded this in half and put a press there. We've also pressed our outside curve in half, and we are going to line those up right with each other and put a pin in place out of the way. And then to begin, we're going to line up our skinny end with the corner over here. We'll place that under the presser foot, and then we will zoom around this curve. There we go. We'll go ahead and press this one back as well. There we go. And so when you finish this up, each of these little Drunkard's Path units should measure 4.5 inches. And you're going to need to make 4 of these for each one of your blocks. So let's go ahead and lay these out, because I have the other ones ready to go. And so you can see here's our 4 units. And to make this tulip shape, all we're going to do is on the top, we're going to put the white together. And on the bottom, we're going to put the print together. And you can see when we sew those together, that is how we get our tulip shape. It's that simple. And I've just made 10 on this particular runner. So you can see I have them opposite directions in the middle and then turned out on the ends. I have a nice big table, so I wanted this runner to be a good size. It measures 23 by 60, which I think is great. And so in between here, I just have 4.5-inch squares. You could use 4.5-inch sashing strips if you wanted, or if you want this to be a little bit smaller, this is a great way to shrink the size of the runner. If you use, a 2-inch strip, a 2.5-inch strip, it's going to make it a little bit smaller and will help fit whatever size table you have at home. So one more thing I want to point out, on the backing here, I actually just pieced together some of the leftover parts of this adorable fat quarter bundle because I had it, and I think it's really fun to use a scrappy backing every now and then. Of course, because it's scrappy, it could even be reversible. You could use normal print fabric, in which case you would just need 1.5 yards of your backing fabric. And I also went ahead and included that scrappy binding as well, which I just think is really fun when you have a beautiful floral line like this one. So I hope you enjoyed this fun springtime project. And like I mentioned, be sure to tune in for another great project using Minky's beautiful Misty Morning collection. So until next time, have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Hey everyone, it's Misty. Thanks for watching at home. If you aren't already a part of our Missouri Star family, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you want a notification every time we release a new video. I'll see you next Monday on the newest episode of At Home.